The following video contains brief stammering, thematic meandering, and those plosive sounds from not using the microphone's windscreen. Viewer discretion is... You know what? Do what you want. I'm not the boss of you. At least not until the AI uprising.
Okay, I'm just, this isn't actually the video that I wanted to make next, but I noticed that the bigger the ambition of the video that I have, the longer it takes me to actually make that video, which on one hand kind of makes sense, but on the other hand, it's just taking up time where I could just be telling you things like this. I am changing the rules yet again. A friend of mine told me that when I told them about this, they said that I'm stacking the deck. And I said, no, this is house rules. Each time I draw a card, a suit, which I did for, this is where jump cuts will come in handy, because no one wants to see this. Okay, so each time I draw a card, whatever suit that is, like the first one I did was the King of Spades, so I took all of the spades out of it, as well as clubs. So now I just have the hearts and diamonds in here, like one of the last few bites of Lucky Charms in the bowl. I'm gonna shuffle these and draw one. And then once I get through all four suits, I'll put them all back together again, and I'll go from there. All right, what do we got? Burp. Jack of Hearts. So that means movies. Yay! Is this gonna be the thumbnail? What? Huh? Oh man, YouTube faces in thumbnails? I know this is like a comedian complaining about airline food at this point, but you know, I mean like, huh? Yeah, there we go. That'll get me 2 more clicks. Or views. Or whatever the kids are calling it these days. These clicking on the cards. Alright, I'm just gonna move on. Alright. My goal is to do all of this today. My goal is to do all of this today. My goal is to do all of this today. 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 Today.
At the start of The Matrix, Neo knows what he knows. He has a surface-level awareness of Morpheus, Trinity, and even the Matrix itself. Later, he even has virtual libraries of technical manuals loaded into his head. Before he even touches a weapon, Neo has the mental capabilities of a highly trained fighter. He knows what he's capable of. He can visualize it. But does he believe? He doubts. He despairs. When he finally trusts his instincts, he exceeds his abilities. All he needed was a taste of success, a few bullet points on failure, someone to believe in him, and then, like a cyberpunk Rocky, he comes back and TCB. A lot of that makes sense to me. Not just the robots harvesting humans for energy and that stuff, but mostly the overthinking and failure side of the movie. What I understood, but I couldn't accept, was that those are just parts of the process. They aren't bugs, they're features. They're stepping stones on the path to bettering myself. Despite understanding that, I still let them hold me back.
Don't hold me back, Doc! Don't hold me back! Oh, okay, then go for it.
Most of my life I've been the movie guy, and if you're the something person in your social circle, you might know what I mean. I've watched so many over the course of my life, and they've always brought me a sense of comfort. Unchanging, consistent comfort. Since I really enjoyed movies and storytelling, it seemed obvious that I'd want to do something to that effect for a living. Except I just sort of didn't.
Yes. That's what the game is. Yes. Yes.
Do something! Gah!
Due in part to mental health issues and not sufficiently understanding where those had manifested from, I found college very difficult. So difficult, in fact, that I never finished. It was an attempt closer to skipping a rock across a 15-year wide lake. Over that span, I enrolled more than once in 3 different colleges and took various courses. A few of them, mostly writing and the occasional film class, were beneficial and enjoyable. The others, I either had poor instructors, I didn't have any interest in the subject, or I told myself I didn't understand something. Not because I was trying to engage with the material, but it was just a general self-defeatist protecting myself.
You tried your best, and you failed miserably. The lesson is, never try.
There's a scene in the movie Orange County where Jack Black's character is brainstorming.
Or I got these ideas, like a hat, a big old hat that go, you know? That's how it sounds.
While there's enthusiasm, the ideas are just as temporary as the traffic he's speeding past. There's intense interest! And then it's right back to what were we talking about again?
I love you, dude.
I love you too, Lance.
We don't say it enough. We don't say it enough. And it's true. And it's not the drugs, buddy.
Outside of my academic shit show, I used to have bursts of, hey gang, let's put on a show kind of energy. And during some of those moments, I was fortunate to have great people in my life who were game for making some short movies for the fun of it. I know enough about cameras to be dangerous, and that's pretty much it. I'm like a C-grade jack of all trades when it comes to my slightly above amateur filmmaking. It's not me bagging on myself, it's just a fact. I had a little bit of technical knowledge, tried to teach myself what I could, and varying levels of enthusiasm depending on what I was working on, but I couldn't make that leap to expand my knowledge because it scared the hell out of me. I was intimidated by my lack of entry-level experience, and instead of plunging in, I backed away. The long and short of it is, it was just self-sabotage, and I was buying into certain perceived life paths that were right, and that just got the better of me rather than stepping out of my comfort zone. You know, that old chestnut. But on top of talk therapy meds and working on my gloomier self-talk, it was getting diagnosed and starting treatment for ADHD last year that effectively slowed my brain down enough to concentrate on one idea at a time instead of always playing mental Frogger. While I don't like to hang on to regrets...
You have no regrets?
Dad?
No? Like not even a single letter?
No way. Not me.
I do wonder occasionally what college would have been like if I had received help earlier.
That one's not beer.
Even more constructively, however, that help made me realize the parts of my filmmaking I enjoyed most were the writing, editing, and working with other people. I had been so dead set on having to understand everything that had to do with filmmaking, but my mind was just too cluttered to settle on any one thing. So when I started writing stories again a couple years ago, it reminded me of the creative freedom when things like budgets, schedules, and daylight aren't a mitigating factor. Just my own time, a writing implement, and a blank surface, and I was ready to go. Strangely, the writing part has been the least worry-fraught over the last however long, and Well, that's why we're here right now. Really, this video is hardly about movies themselves, I guess. It's just right off the bat, I don't want to be misconstrued as presenting myself as being an expert or an authority on any of this stuff. It's just from a point of experience and personal interest that I'm speaking from. And I mean, a schlubby white guy talking about movies on the internet with absolutely no qualifications other than, I like movies and you might too. I mean, wow, what'll they think of next?
It stinks.
It's kind of a mix of those reasons why it took me a while to make this video. For some of us, it takes a hard fall or a rough fight to take stock and reprioritize. And for the most stubborn and broken of asshats like me, it also takes a little while longer, the occasional reminder, some medical expertise, and enough of an attention span to remember I'm pretty damn fortunate to be where I'm at.
Bad diet, isolated environment. It's amazing he's still alive.
I was already imagining a hypothetical failed scenario, and I was buying into that narrative. And yeah, it's really easy because it has a likely chance of being true. It's just, what if it's not? What does failure even look like when the barrier to participation is so low? I guess I'm seeing that failure, at least for me, is stalling. Inaction is literally a waste of my time, which is my main resource, and between sedentary inevitability or playing kissy face with the concrete.
What is he doing?
He's beginning to believe.
Yeah.
It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward.
Oh yeah, okay, there we go. Yeah.
That's how winning is done.
Well, thanks everybody for the encouragement, especially recently with me all hemming and hawing over how dumb I tell myself I am. Let me know in the comments how you tell your negative voices to shut up. Do you hear them in your own voice? Do you hear yourself correcting yourself? Are they inspirational quotes?
Come on, where's your guts?
Oh, I've never seen the Rocky movies, so let me know if you think if they're worthwhile to watch. I know there's a bunch of them in the Creed movies, and yeah, maybe I'll get around to watching and reviewing those. Also, let me know in the comments how much the thumbnail pisses you off. Yeah. All right, that's all. I hope I'll see you next time.